So I'm not having a good day today. Stand at ease, people. I'm Lieutenant Commander Stu Carter, U.S. Navy, retired. I'm here to give you a capabilities briefing on the new UNSC Hornet by Jada Toys. So stand by for a Halo toy review. Now, if you've been following my channel, you would have had your first look at these new Halo vehicles by Jada Toys when I was at the New York Toy Fair last February. Now I've got one hot off the shelf. We're going to open it up and have a good look at it. You know, they've been making Halo toys forever. At first it was Joyride Studios. They made these big figures. We had these years ago. And they made some minifigures too for a little while, but they've stopped, of course, producing those. And then and Mega Bloks makes some nice Halo toys, minifigures and large figures as well, we've seen. And of course, currently McFarlane is making the super quality figures and vehicles. By the way, this is a Comic-Con exclusive, so I review this Master Chief. He's like a silver Master Chief. And also, I don't have any to show you, but Square Enix is involved in Halo toys, or had been, as well as Diamond Select. We've seen toys with them at the New York Toy Fairs as well. So, boy, that's a lot of people making Halo toys over the years, huh? So here's a good look at the box. It says S1 series. This is the first wave of Halo toys by Jada Toys. This one's called Combat Edition. They also make an Arctic Edition of the Hornet, which is white camouflage paint. Comes with two figures, a pilot and a ODST drop trooper. And it's in a nice little diorama there. It's a cool background for that, right? Like that. I kind of want to leave it in the box to some extent. And you get some nice Halo graphics on the side. And yeah. That's nice. And then you look at the back, nothing real special there, just a little bit of data on the Hornet telling you that the cockpit opens. And then some of the other vehicles they're making there got a Ghost, a Mongoose, a Warthog, a Banshee, and another special kind of Warthog, I guess. Okay, well, it does look pretty in the box, but really, we got to play with this toy, right? So, you ready to take it out? All right, let's go. So we've got the Hornet out of the package now, and the first thing I'm a little disappointed in is that the little display base that they had in the package really can't be used out of the package. It's plastic and it's not heavy. It's not going to hold up. The vehicle is quite heavy. That said, though, there's screws. It's screwed into the package with some plastic on the back of the package. So you can find screws of the same thread count but longer, and perhaps put a block of wood underneath here to help hold it up. And alternately, there's a little post here as well. You see that post? And that has screws as well inside there. And so you could take this part of the base off and just use the post, and that way it would display standing straight up like that. So you could have two options if you wanted to mess with it a little bit, adding a block of wood to these and try it yourself. Now I'm going to unscrew these posts here, and then we'll see how it works. So I've got it off the display stand now, and already there's a couple things I'm a little disappointed in. First is the front landing strut, the landing skid. It's plastic and it's bent. It's not too unusual to see this with toys. When they're packaged, perhaps when they put it into the plastic, it got bent as they fitted into the plastic, and it stayed like that, you know, for months or weeks at least. And that's plastic. I could try to bend it back. I might break it, and then it wouldn't sit right on the table, so I may not try to bend it too much. The second thing I had a problem with is this opening cockpit. I managed to break it the first time I opened it. It'll sit in there, but the little piece, it's a curved piece of plastic. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little curved piece of plastic that slid in here, and as I was trying to open the cockpit, that little curved piece just bent and broke right off the cockpit. So when you're doing this, first I would say try look at the package and see if the strut up here is nice and straight. And then when you're opening the cockpit first time, maybe just kind of wiggle it a little bit, see if you can kind of nudge it out. Because what it does is it's hinged on a piece of plastic, a thin piece, so it just sort of hinges up like that. This will stay in, but if I'm going to be flying around, it might fall off like that. Okay, well, let's have a good 360 look at it. Okay, then looking at the minifigures, I managed to bust the hip joint on the pilot right away. So I'm not having a good day today. I'm going to go glue this guy, and I'll be right back later. So even though his wounds were horrendous, through advanced scientific medicine, I was able to heal my pilot and get him back on duty. And so he stands there with the ODST. And generally they do stand up pretty well because you can rotate them at the hips and at the knees and kind of, flex their feet a little bit. So they'll stand up. He fell over there because I was turning the table. That's about as close as I can get to him to give you a look. And I'm not going to... I hope I can get the pilot to sit down, and I hope I can get the ODST to sit down on the skids of the chopper, to go on a combat mission. If not, I'll be in some trouble. But that's a good look at them. They have, as they say, 8 points of articulation at the hips, elbows, head, and in the knees as well. That's the ODST and the pilot. And let's compare them in size. Here's the two figures from Jada Toys compared to the Mega Bloks Halo minifigure. And you can see there the Mega Bloks figures is a lot chunkier. About the same size, but much chunkier, much thicker. And also they come with the holes on their feet. Their feet are hollow so that they can fit into the pegs on the Halo's playsets. These guys, they've got no holes in their feet. Their feet are rather small. You could make them stand up easily, and then if they were still falling down, you could put clay or tacky stuff underneath their feet to make them stand up better in a diorama. Naturally, of course, also the figures from Mega Bloks are designed to come apart, so you're going to have a lot more articulation and posability on these as a general rule. But it's nice to see they're about the same size, so you can play them together. I think he may be a bit large to fit into the cockpit, but we'll give it a try. Let's look at the aircraft. What I do like about these Jada Toys figures is that they are anatomically correct. Their heads, their feet and hands are in the right kind of proportions to the rest of their body for a real human, compared to the Mega Bloks figures, sort of a fantasy, easily posable and easy to stand up and stuff, but he's not really in proportions to a real human. And if you guys were looking close while I had the close-up shot of these guys, you might have seen this telltale line here, this seam. You see that on the back of his thighs? Right there, that would indicate that there's a joint there, right? For him to bend at the waist, bend his leg where it joins at the hip. Well, I wasn't able to do that with this guy. It seems to be it's stuck. You may have a better luck with your figure, but these were pretty much stuck. I could not get those to bend. I even went as far as to pull his leg right out and then tried to bend it then using the post. It wouldn't do it. Now the other guy, yes, I got him the flex. See, he can bend his legs at the knees even farther, but that's about as far as I could get with his thighs. So he can just sort of crouch sit, and that's about it. But just use caution, don't force these guys. But he can kind of sit on the struts a little bit. Kind of half ready. Here he is. Here's a look at the Hornet again, and I've already talked about the bent front skid. I'm not going to mention it anymore, or the cockpit. It does come with decals already applied to make it look tactical and combat ready. And it's got a nice sort of a dull green tactical finish. Now, if I was a modeler, a professional kind of modeler, I would want to apply some more paint on here to show battle damage or combat use. Like you would maybe put some, make it look scorched a bit underneath the engines, and maybe on the top have it a little bit oxidized, from to show wear and tear, so it's not quite so new. Also, other features include you get this front sensor pod. Now, a real one, this would rotate. This one doesn't move. Okay. On the top of the Hornet, you've got these are machine cannons, and then underneath you've got rocket pods as well. And on the side, these are supposed to be, I guess, jump seats or places where two troopers can ride on either side, a total of 4 perhaps. We'll see if my guy can fit on there and stand and hold on to it. You've got that. This is supposed to be a vertical takeoff and landing kind of aircraft, but it's not like an Osprey apparently. It doesn't. These engine pods don't swivel. Now I've looked at some of the gaming pictures online. I haven't seen a picture of this with these swiveled like with an Osprey. You know, the vertical takeoff and landing helicopter aircraft. These would swivel, and so they look more like real jets. So you can fly horizontally, and then for vertical you could swivel them up like this. These don't swivel. Now it may be that this design like a helicopter just kind of tilt, you know, way up there and fly like this, and that could be what it's designed to do. One nice thing they have here is these will spin. You get some little turbo fans here. They will spin. While I'm talking about it, this is mostly die cast. Most of the frame, the fuselage, is die cast, and then with plastic parts in here, plastic here, plastic of course in that front skid that's bent, plastic in the cockpit. And here's a look at the Hornet from above, so you can get a better look at the automatic cannons, and of course those turbofan engines. And it may be that in the Halo universe that these do tilt, but they're not really going to tilt here. And here's another scale comparison. This is a Ghost ship by Racing Champions, done a few years ago. It's a little bit of an old toy, but it looks to be about in the same scale. What do you guys think, you pro Halo players? Is this about the right size to be in the same scale as this? I think it's pretty close. So you could, if you've still got some of these old ones, you could put those in the same diorama. Well, here I've got my pilot into the cockpit of the Hornet, and I pretty much broke him again, putting him in there. The problem was I couldn't get his hips to bend enough, his thighs to bend on his hips to where he could really sit. So he broke himself in the waist again, unfortunately. One nice feature here is, if you can see it in there you can see there's a little bit of detail in the control panel here. You can't see, I can't see any dials, but you can see there is a control panel, and there's some control rods of some kind, or handles, in the cockpit. You can see those, can't you? Yeah, and I'll put the canopy on again, like that, and so you can just see through the canopy and see him sitting there. And let's try the Mega Bloks figure in there. Well, no, I tried one of my skinnier Mega Bloks figures, and his shoulders are just too doggone wide, because he's a burly Marine, to fit into the cockpit. So that's too bad. He's going to have to stand outside, and our pilot's just got to do his job, whether he's broken in half or not. Right, so we've got our pilot into the cockpit, and we've got the ODST standing next to the craft, because I'm convinced now neither one of them are really going to be able to sit properly. And so that means the ODST can't really sit on the skids. He can't stand there, but not that easily. And if I were you, I would just consider both of those figures to be like display figures outside the craft. Don't be trying to make them sit, because you're just going to break them like I did. They look fine standing next to your aircraft. And the Halo's a nice looking piece. Again, I would like to see some paint mods being done to it. And I would suspect Jada may have that in mind to give you a battle damaged version in the future. So you ladies ready to do a ride along on a combat mission? Well, mount up and let's go. I can't hold it! We're going in!
No one I know is out to kill me. I guess I'm doing okay. I'm lost among the millions.